All right, hello everyone. Hopefully it's not that windy, but we will see after I'm done with the video. Today I wanted to talk about the difference between acceptance and engagement, okay? Or awareness and engagement, which is a big question I'm asked all the time on calls. How do I differentiate between if I'm accepting something or I'm engaging in something? You're never going to know for sure, but there are tail signs to see if you are struggling with this, which most people are. Most people are definitely struggling with this particular thing because we're trying so hard to escape. I'm going to probably just walk this way. It's a little bit, yeah, that's a lot better. We're trying to escape OCD in our minds 24/7, so it's really easy to make this mistake. And I'm going to talk about the mistakes I made. Now, before I go any further, please subscribe, hit that like button down below. If you need help, please reach out to Phil at OCDrecovery.com. We can get back to you in a timely fashion. Again, this is a very, very big problem that many, many people struggle with. I was one of them myself. Okay, so think about anything that you do in your life. Okay, right now, I kind of did this as an exercise. I like doing these almost set up. Some of them are spontaneous, some of them are not. I have a rock in my left shoe right now, and I'm just allowing that rock to be here. I've been having it in all morning. I went to the grocery store, it was there. I'm leaving this rock in for the majority of the day, and it's extremely annoying, but it's just one of those little stoic exercises you can do to build frustration tolerance, and this is the way I like to do things. I also have a stoic book I pull out here and there and practicing exercises and stuff like that. So the number one thing, I have to stay in this like one corner going back and forth in front of my house because this is where the wind isn't hitting the most. This is hilarious. So think about anything like that bothers you on a daily basis. Could be an uncomfortable clothing. That's why we say wear it like an uncomfortable shirt. And think about how you go about your day. You don't speak back to that all day. You're aware of it. You can feel that awareness, but you're not fighting with it 24/7. That's the difference. So what most of us do when we're really, really stuck is we think that there's something we're going to do in the moment to push ourselves out of this particular situation. So we think if we say the right thing to ourselves, if we do something in the sense of, okay, if I avoid this or if I do that, if I say this phrase, it's no longer going to bother me. But that's completely asinine. It's not how it works. OCD recovery is not that simple. What actually matters is how you guys want to see something sweet? Probably not going to be able to see it, but I'll show you anyway. I'm not sure you can see how the clouds are. So that's Pikes Peak. I've climbed that 3 times. It's 14,115 feet. I don't know what meters that is. And then the clouds that are like kind of right there. Super cool. I'll give you a good example. So when I would climb these mountains and I was really stuck, I would be very, very aware of my sensory motor and my body dysmorphia and my panic and my anxiety. But the more I tried to force that away in the moment, that is when real trouble started, because that would instill the belief that I have to get rid of this right now. If I don't get rid of it, my life is ruined. And that's the belief that everyone has in anything going wrong in their life. There's many things that people go through that are never going away. You're never getting rid of the OCD genetic component. That's going to be there for the remainder of your life. You have a genetic brain disorder. Even in recovery, this is completely misunderstood. Even in recovery where there's no symptoms and your beliefs are much different, it doesn't mean you're 100% prone to never having a spike ever in your life again. The chances are just much lower. On a day-to-day basis, 99% of the time, you can't tell you have OCD. Like I tell people all the time, do I notice my sensations? Of course I do. I'm a human being. You noticed your sensations before you had sensory motor OCD. If you played sports, you noticed your breathing. The difference is there wasn't a fear cycle. So you weren't constantly thinking about it 24/7. So I knew the goal was not to never notice my sensations again. I knew it was a really bad goal. I knew the goal had to be to get comfortable with it being there whenever, wherever, for the rest of my life, and changing my belief. And how I had to do that was to bring it everywhere. When I hike these big mountains, when I go to work, when I went on holidays, when I was having sex with my wife, when I was having dinner, when I was doing anything, walking the dogs. Every single place that you don't want your OCD to be, not just my particular journey, anything, any symptom, is the problem. The more you hold that belief, the bigger problem you're going to have long term. And that was what we all do. So that's the awareness component itself. But the difference is when you're engaging with it, you truly do believe there's something you can do to get rid of that in the moment. So one of the things that I used to do, phrases, it's not that you can never talk to yourself again. I convinced myself of that, which was the problem too. I was like, okay, well, you could never have a conversation with yourself ever again. And that actually wasn't accurate whatsoever. I speak to myself a good amount. I reflect on things. I reflect when I'm walking and everything like that. But it's not about that I can never say anything in the sense of, okay, Nick, like you can do this, or, yep, you've been in a situation like this before. The difference is that I'm not doing that now in order to grasp a level of acceptance that I somehow didn't have before, which is the problem that most people have. If I'm reflecting on something, if I'm working on the belief system, it has nothing to do with changing the way I view things in the moment. That's the difference that many people, the big problem that many people have. They're doing these things on a moment-to-moment basis in order to get rid of them in the moment. That is the problem. So again, the problem is when you're experiencing some sort of a trigger, you think there's something you can say, there's something you could do to make the awareness of that trigger go away, and you no longer are affected by that. That's a big problem, and that's not going to work long-term. But you can try it, and you're going to have to learn the hard way like we all do. Most of the things that we talk about, you are going to make the mistake. You are going to have to learn the hard way. That's not me trying to put you down. It's just the reality of what's happening when you're going throughout OCD recovery. And again, just think about all the things in your life that you notice that you're not engaging with. You're just aware of it happening. And that could be, like right now, it's a little bit windy outside, so I have no idea how this video is going to. That's why I've been walking around my neighborhood trying to find an alley where the wind's not hitting, and I obviously keep failing. So it's probably a good idea if I go into the garage, since my garage is right here. But take the wind for an example. I wasn't just speaking away the wind right now. I was just allowing myself to experience the wind without needing it to go away. And here's another one too. So they're building, all these are being built right now. I'm not trying to talk away the sound of their music, which is great. It's like that typical salsa Spanish music, which I love. And I'm not trying to talk those sounds away, okay? I wanted to come and do this video in an area where there was a lot of sounds to show people that there's different things that could be going on. Construction, wind, cars driving by the highway, birds chirping. And I'm aware of those things, but I'm also not trying to change my surroundings. So what you do when you're stuck is you're constantly trying to change your surrounding, and that's the big problem. So you have to remember when you're going throughout the recovery process, the ultimate end goal is to move closer and closer to accepting your worst case scenario. That is the goal of OCD and anxiety recovery, whilst understanding that acceptance doesn't mean agreement. Those are two completely different things. As you're changing your behaviors, compulsions and avoidance, and building your habits. It's a multi-year process for many people. Doesn't mean you're chronically suffering the entire time, but you'll have ups and downs and spikes. Then you have to get used to the fact that even when you're feeling better, there's no guarantee that you'll feel better forever. That's a really difficult thing for people to wrap their heads around, but it's absolutely the truth. Like take me right now, let's just take specifically my sensory motor. That specifically been in a really good spot for about 3 years. Could that come back whenever? Sure. Am I afraid of it coming back? No. Do I want it to come back? No. Buy dysmorphia. Could I accept my worst case scenario of having no muscle, not being in shape, being ugly, all that particular stuff? Yes. Is it the worst thing in the world to have those things? No. Would I enjoy never being able to be engaged in fitness ever again? Of course not. I love fitness. It's a huge part of my life. I hike mountains. I do all that. I'm aware of these things, but I'm not fighting an uphill battle against it 24/7 like I used to. Many times, a lot of people just have to have a month where they're just working on their habits and their behaviors and then living their life. But Nick, no, that's not what I want to do. I want to figure it out now. No, that's the problem. You think there's always something actively you need to be doing on a day-to-day basis, but that is the problem. A lot of the times you're just learning to live with symptoms, bring them for the ride, taking a very slow approach. Remember, you're looking at a long-term approach. Everything in life today, most things in life, not everything, but most things in life are quick. I mean, take something as simple as this. This is a really good example, okay? Building all these townhomes by my house right now. When I hear people talk about in the real estate stuff I listen to, the quality in an 18, now I get it, population's bigger, there's more demand, supply and demand, but how fast everything is rushed nowadays. Everyone wants everything now. I want my custom home built in 6 months when the builder's like, it's gonna take 14 months. No, I want it now. Your food delivery, we can't even wait 12 minutes to have our food delivered. Oh, what do you mean it's gonna take an hour? I'm so hungry, oh my God. All this stuff adds together to engagement, needing things to be the way we want to be right now. That is the number one factor when it comes to a bodily sensation, a thought, an image, a sensation, an urge, where you're trying to fix that in the moment. And again, this is not about again, when you are recovered, you still feel discomfort in life. I still have things go wrong in my business. Me and my wife still get in disagreements. I have a rock in my shoe right now. I mean, you do things like this and you feel these particular things to train yourself to build your frustration tolerance. But the more that you engage, the more you think you can talk those away, that's where you're going wrong. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Please reach out, phil@ocdrecovery.com. Hope to hear from you soon. Remember, that's how you find out about the webinar services and everything like that. And, you know, hopefully I get to talk to you on the one-to-one and we get to break things down. It just means a lot. One of the most passionate things in our life. Our mission is to change OCD and anxiety worldwide. We are on a very good path for that. Thank you for helping us get to 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. I remember when I first started making videos and we were at I think we were at 4,500 4 years ago when I first started my first video. And now look at where we are. I mean, we have multiple coaches maxed out. We work 24/7 around the clock in every single time zone. Nobody even comes close in the entire mental health field with uploading as much content as we do. Why? Because I don't have any analysis paralysis. Some videos I make are better than others. Some videos are not that great. You got weather changes and stuff like this and sound. It's not about that. It's the consistency. It's the realness over and over and over and over and over again. Do I miss things? Of course I do. I'm a human, but I don't beat myself up. But I stay consistent 99.5% of the time over and over with the TikToks, the Reels, the YouTube monitoring, all that stuff. So thank you so much again. Hope to hear from you soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.